WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Welcome to a German whiskey, a single malt from Germany. This is from the Hammerschmiede, which actually means the hammer blacksmith, or also called the Hercynian Distilling Company. Now, used to be named the Glen Els, and now they call themselves the Elsburn. Now this is a very, very unique bottling here because it says Heartgow on it, just like BOGO. And it is a single malt whiskey created from a mash bill with peated, unpeated, and wood smoked malt, cask strength, 47.1%. So this is Whiskybase number 186346. This is 57.1%. And what they did is they took basically the barrels that had been filled up with transitional whiskey and bottled them. What is transitional whiskey? When you transition from peated to unpeated, or more likely from unpeated to peated whiskey. On the same stills, you have some whiskey that you start off that if you've done peated for, let's say, a month or two, and you switch to unpeated, the first couple of still runs will still have some residual peat in them. And what do you do with it? You can throw it away. Nah, I don't think the excise man would like that. And so you bottle it and you think about what you'll do. You could actually put it into a peated whiskey to make it less peaty, or you could put it into a unpeated whiskey to make it a little bit peaty. All right, so many people put that into the peated whiskey to make it less peaty. Well, here, Anna Buchholz, the master distiller, she actually decided to say, hey, we're going to fill it up into Pedro Jimenez cask, we're going to fill it up into Palo Cortado cask, we're going to fill it up into oloroso cask, and we're going to fill it up in cream sherry casks, and then we're going to fill all those up into this one bottling. Only 475 bottles in total, so not that many, not anything to write home about. And so we have something that is in here that's 3 years old, and we have some in here that are 11 years old. So we actually have here butts, hogshead, quarter casks, and octave casks are all in here. So now if I turn this around real quick, it's a totally different bottle. Look at that. Yay. Now we have here Dark Clouds because this Heartgow is actually a new series and everyone will actually be named something differently. Dark Grove. Now the question is, what would I be willing to pay for this bottle? Now we do have the big problem that Elsburn, their prices are higher than normal. Why? They call themselves a whiskey manufacturer. Craftsman. Craftsmanship is very, very important there. Everything is done by hand. Labeling is done by hand. Corking is done by hand. Filling is done by hand. They do have over 114 different expressions on the market at the moment, and I've had some of them. I've had the Wayfare, I've had the Journey, I've had an Alric, which is very, very strongly, heavily peated. I've had the Emperor's Way. I haven't had a Wilburn yet, which I want to try. And there's a few independently bottled expressions out there as well. So the distillery was founded in 1985 by the father of Anna, and they've been active ever since there. So it's very, very interesting to see what they've done and how they've done it and what has happened in the last 30, 40 years there, right? So the father started, and then Anna has continued on with this tradition. I'm going to compare it to something else. It also cost about 119 euros. This is a 5-year-old. At least I have an age statement. If there was an age statement on this one, it would have been 3. There's an age statement here that says 5. This is a sherry octave, especially bottled for it's a store pick basically, for a whiskey hot in Oberhausen here in Germany. It is 56.4%. I really like this. My only problem with this one was the price. And I think this is going to be exactly the same problem here. It says here it's a cream, a sherry cream. Okay, I did not even know that. Excellent, excellent. All right, coloring, or the color here, both of course a natural color, both the sherry is a little bit darker here. Now this has been in the bottle like this for about the last 6 months, so I'm sorry. All right, on the nose, it's amazing how this doesn't burn. This is really, really nice stuff. I like this a lot. Now this is sweet and yummy and good. This has a little bit of a peat moment in here. It's a little bit of an ashy moment. They do use here beech wood to actually fire the furnaces here as well. So that's actually something that comes through here. Yeah. So the actual whiskey production started in 2002. They started producing the father in 1985 spirits, but actually in 2002 they started with single malt production. They do try to use local barley, Golden Promise, Concerto, and so on. They have a lot of wood smoke, as I talked about, the birch here that they use. When they have peated, it's 25 to 35 ppm here. They do have a wash tun, which is 0.5 tons. It's a full Lauter mash tun made of stainless steel, and they do 1 mash cycle per day, which is about 2,500 liters, and they do 4 days per week, which means they do about 10,000 liters of wash every week. So they have 4 washbacks of each 3,000 liters made out of French oak. They have about a fermentation time of 96 to 120 hours, which is fairly long. And so they get about 8.5 to 9% alcohol. They distill on, there's always double distilled. Their pot stills are actually wood fired. So they don't have oil, they don't have gas, they use local wood that they have there. They have 2 wash stills, each 700 liters, so you know they're small, and they have 1 spirit still, which is 800. So they take basically, I think they take even 2 or 3 of the wash stills, and they put it in 1 spirit still. So they do have a big boil ball in the middle there, which is very, very interesting. And they have a declining line arm there, and they have a shell and tube condenser. All right, very, very good. And between 96 and 72% is when it comes off the still. So every year they have about a theoretical capacity, if they ran 24/7, of 100,000 liters. What they actually do is about 30,000 liters of alcohol per year. And that makes about, because they have to dilute it down to 72% basically, about 50,000 liters of new make. And they put it at 60%, not 72%. All right, very, very good. So they love different types of casks. They only use first fill casks, which is very, very rare, to be honest. And they have anything down from a 38 liter all the way up to 500 liter casks. 60% would be sherry, 10% would be Malaga, 10% would be port, and then 20% would be others. For example, Marsala, Madeira, Amarone, Banyulis, Revisals, Primaire Grand Cru Bordeaux, Eurocon, Zautern, Tokayi, from Hungary, virgin oak, rum, and ex-bourbon. It's interesting, ex-bourbon at the very, very end. She does not like using ex-bourbon there. And it depends on how they do that. Of course, we're in Europe, so the minimum has to be 3 years of maturation. And on average, somewhere between 5 and 10 years is what they do. And because they have much warmer summers than in Scotland or Ireland, the angel share is anywhere between 4 and, listen to me please, 9% of the year. And even the very smallest casks give up over 10% angels share of year. They have a beautiful, beautiful visitor center. You can actually visit the malt mill. You can take a look at the fermentation washbacks. You can watch and see how they do their how they do their distilling. And there's actually also a spirit safe where they do that. Very, very, very nice. I want to go visit them again, as I've mentioned before. All right, so let's try this. A lot of talk today. Wow. I think it's only fair to get this out here. I mean, this is not my favorite whiskey in the world, but I do like what they're doing. I like the nose. I like this a little bit better. All right, cheers. So now the 59 57.1, 59, 56.4, okay. The 57.1 is a little hot for me, just a tiny bit. And the problem is that I went like this, is the smoke kicks in. I am still not a peat head. I'm enjoying certain Islay whiskeys and certain peated whiskeys, but this really doesn't, it's not going, it doesn't go up in my opinion. It goes actually down in my flavor profile for what's actually added to this with these mixings of the transition from the peated to the unpeated whiskeys. You had to do something with them. I'm sure many people will really like this because for them it would go up because of the peat at the end. Not really my cup of tea, to be honest. The sherry octave. I remember doing the video about this. I really liked it, but I was also shocked by the price. 5-year-old whiskey, 129 euros, way too expensive. Over here, a 3-year-old whiskey, basically, 129 euros, way too expensive. Delicious, very good, but it can, two things. If you put this in a blind tasting with, let's say, Aberlour, Abuna, Glen Dronach, Cask Strength, Glenfarclas 101, Tamdhu Batch Strength, and all those other ones that we have, these sherry bombs at Cask Strength, this would actually be able to hold its own and maybe even a little bit more. But all those whiskeys are someplace between 50 and 80 euros. This is 50 euros on top of that. And they do everything, hand labeling, hand bottling, everything's by hand. I know it costs much, much more, but still, as me as the consumer, I'm gonna have to go a little expensive on a little bit too expensive for me. So I have added some water. Much more approachable for me, around 50-52%. And yummy, 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 yummy. Oh, there's that smoke, there's that peat, there's that that wood smoke moment. This is a C. Wheat whiskey. I'm not going to give it a plus. I'm not going to give it a minus. It's a C whiskey. And value for money, it's a D whiskey. I'm so sorry. I do like the Jekyll and Hyde moment. Oh, beautiful, beautiful picture. All the information you need. Well done there. Just really not cutting it for me with the end at the ends of the feints. It's not the feints. It's just the peated, the slight peatiness in there. All right, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking. If you can find anything from Elsburn, lucky you. Outside of Germany, it's hardly ever available. Anne Buchholz actually has more than enough customers at the moment. She wants to keep it small. She has no plans on expanding. She wants to keep exactly the way it is and satisfy the demand locally without becoming a multinational blah, blah, blah. And she has a lot of die-hard fans that travel there once or twice a year from hundreds of miles away just to go for special bottlings, just to be there, just to actually experience having the opportunity to buy a bottle and so on. So thank you very much. WhiskyJason here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell others. And maybe you can share this video and help other people to realize there's a lot more different distilleries out there than you can imagine. Thank you. All the best. See you soon. WhiskyJason. Bye-bye.